Snap, which owns the popular mobile app Snapchat, is preparing to list in New York. There's quite a buzz around its IPO, not least of the reasons is because it's a multi-billion-dollar proposal. Stuart Miles joins us now from Pocket Lint, where he's CEO and founder. Stuart, good morning to you. First of all, what is Snapchat?
So put on a very basic level, it's an instant messaging app that allows you to share pictures. It's been most notoriously known because those pictures will disappear after 10 seconds, meaning you can send lots of different things, knowing full well that they will vanish soon after being read. But as it's grown up, it's tried to branch into different areas by offering news from brands and other ways of millennials basically talking to each other.
It's got this valuation, I understand, they aim for something like about $20 to $25 billion. How does this sit in the list of tech offerings?
In the grander picture, it's about what you'd expect Snapchat to IPO for. Don't forget, WhatsApp sold 2 years ago to Facebook for $22 billion. And if you look at the two similarities in the companies, you kind of see, well, if that one's worth that, then this surely must be worth this. We're also into a Silicon Valley kind of bubble at the moment where there are lots of unicorns around. That's billion-dollar companies. And the valuation of these things just continues to rise, regardless of whether they actually have any potential to make any money whatsoever.
So in that case, how does one assess value in this? I mean, if you can't assess it by actual monetary value, you can't assess it by the future expectations of profits, how do you say this is worth this amount of money?
And this is the same problem that's occurred for a number of IPOs, everything from Google to Facebook to going forward. It's the sense of how long is a piece of string. Snapchat have around 158 million users a month. They acknowledge that they don't really make any money, so they've lost $500 million in the last year, and that most of their user base are fickle and could go somewhere else if they decided to jump ship and go to a different platform. But what's interesting here and what people are excited by is the fact that the majority of Snapchat users are what's called millennials. They are time or cash rich, sort of affluent people in that kind of niche area that not many people understand how to talk to. And so the perceived value here is that you're buying access to that audience and therefore should effectively one day be able to make money.
Okay, well, let's look at that one day. I mean, you mentioned Facebook as well. Facebook, I believe, tried to buy Snapchat for a reported $3 billion, but Snap refused at that time. Do you see ultimately Snapchat or Snap Incorporated being bought up by an existing business that does have profits like Facebook?
Well, I think the option, what's probably normally happened is you opt for an IPO if you're not necessarily making any money because you need more money to burn, so to speak. And it's a good chance for the venture capital firms who invested heavily at the beginning to get out and make some money. And there are going to be some big venture capital firms that make a lot of money if it IPOs. I think if they were looking for a quick exit, they would have gone for a sale with someone like Facebook. Facebook has copied a lot of their ideas, the Instagram stories. There's a lot of crossover there that you could see easily being, the same kind of product. So I think this is really about getting the venture capitalists their money back and hoping that enough momentum with shareholders can allow them to give them enough cash to continue to grow and not have to worry about that loss for some time to come.
Just going back to one other point you mentioned, you did refer to a tech-type bubble at the moment. Do you see that losing ground this year? Do you see that continuing? Is there more to come in this bubble?
I think we're starting to head into a tech bubble of sorts. There are lots of IPOs now. There are lots of billion-dollar valuations. There are lots of mergers and sales going on. And I think we're only going to see more of those across 2017 as the market sort of consolidates and works out what's going on. You can't have companies that don't make any money going on forever. And therefore, at some point, they'll have to sell and get absorbed that way, or they IPO and then gives them a series more cash to carry on going. With Brexit and the Trump administration, I think there's lots of sort of uncertainty in the world. And I think we will see more and more sales and mergers going through the rest of the year.
Okay, well, it's an interesting story, but Stuart, thanks for joining us. Stuart Miles there from Pocket Lint with us with a look ahead to the Snap Incorporated IPO.